the best kept secret about Audrey.
She adored her father, and then he disappeared one day.
I missed him terribly.
Must have left you very insecure.
Yes, it was very bad. My mother explained very sweetly that he'd gone away on a trip and...
Audrey's father abandoned his family, inspired by the Nazi regime in Germany.
He didn't love me, obviously.
She was devastated, but she had no choice. She was asked to take messages for the resistance in her shoes. She showed up once in front of the U.S. Congress and showed how extraordinarily powerful she still was.
Cannot afford to give up.
She was a huge star, but there was this deep wound.
Her father had been arrested as an enemy of the state.
I wanted to know where he was, whether he was still alive. And I saw him for the first time in 25 years. There was a great deal of pain involved.
It's one of the traumas that left a very deep mark on me.
Experiences in childhood form you for the rest of your life. There's so many images that will never go away. So I was behind the curtains and I saw these German tanks come in for hours, marching. There was a knock on the door and they took my uncle away, who 6 months later was shot. Everybody went underground. I grew up that way, knowing that we were all prisoners. There was practically nothing to eat. All children started to suffer from malnutrition. But had we known the first 6 months of the war that we were going to be occupied for 5 years, we might all have shot ourselves. We thought it would be over next week.
It must have left you very insecure.
That is not what left me insecure. My father leaving us left me insecure. For life, perhaps. My mother explained very sweetly that he'd gone away on a trip and she didn't think he was coming back.
I missed him terribly from the day he disappeared.
While her dad sided with the enemy, Audrey helped the resistance.
She was asked to take messages for the resistance in her shoes. And nobody's going to stop kids.
I was quite capable of forming. That was a sort of some way in which I could make some contribution and collect money for the underground.
Just when Audrey was about to lose all hope, unexpected heroes saved her.
The first thing I remember after our liberation in Holland was the Red Cross and UNICEF coming in and filling all the empty buildings that they could find with food and clothing and medication. The day we were liberated was so exciting, and that's when life started again.
Audrey tried to move on, but the war had affected her too much.
As soon as I could, I wanted desperately to become a dancer.
Because of the war and malnutrition, I didn't have anywhere near the technique that girls my age had.
She was devastated, but she had no choice. She had to keep moving.
Never wanted to become an actress. I became an actress because I had to earn a living, and I started doing little bits in movies.
But much to her surprise, Audrey quickly rose to fame.
She just had magnetism. People loved her.
It was only 4 years before that come out of Holland and a long German occupation, but I really didn't know what hit me. People see something that I don't see. I'd like to have had more figure. I'd like to have had a smaller nose. I'd like to have been blonde.
Despite her success, Audrey couldn't get over what happened with her dad.
She had lacked love as a child.
My parents divorced when I was 6, stayed with me for the rest of my life. And I missed him terribly from the day he disappeared.
She was clearly seeking love everywhere she went in all of her films and in her life too.
And so she threw herself into a relationship with actor Mel Ferrer.
I think they found each other and they adored each other and were very happy.
Mel Ferrer sort of guided her career in a way that's almost parent-like.
But their love wasn't enough to survive yet another tragedy.
Having a miscarriage is heartrending. Certainly one of the most traumatic experiences I had. But so is divorce. It's probably one of the worst experiences in being convinced.
When her family fell apart again, Audrey became desperate to face her dad.
I wanted to know where he was, whether he was still alive. And through the Red Cross, I found where my father lived, which was in Ireland.
That sense of helplessness, not really understanding and just knowing that he's gone away. That was the first big blow I had as a child. It's one of the traumas that left a very deep mark on me.
When she was telling me the story, she was crying. She said he was so cold. He did not receive her. And she said that really hurt her.
Feeling of family is terribly important. I think it's essential. I learned as a child that it's terribly important for a child to have a father. If I could have just seen him regularly, I would have felt he loved me, and I tried desperately to avoid it for my children.
But every time she looked for love, she was left heartbroken.
No two people are ever perfect. If there's enough friendship and love, you overcome it. But obviously when a marriage doesn't work anymore, then everything becomes destructive.
He was committing a lot of adultery and he was photographed with over 200 different women.
I was the worst period at the end of my marriage.
The best kept secret about Audrey was that she was sad. She just wanted love and to be loved.
Audrey was desperate to ensure that nobody else ever felt the way she did.
That experiences in childhood form you for the rest of your life. That's also why I'm so concerned with children today, now surrounded by violence and horror, what this is going to do to them.
She would always say, I love you, and she would never hold back.
Her passion for helping children caught the attention of the heroes who had saved her all those years ago.
The head of UNICEF approached her and says, how would you feel about being a full-time ambassador for UNICEF?
I'm happy to do it because for children, I'd go to the moon. I've known UNICEF all my life, and I've admired and trusted them all this time.
And through her charity work, Audrey finally met the true love of her life, Robert Walters.
Often through hell, they always come out at the other end. Either somebody helped me or something happened. Robbie's a living example of that.
And he's just as passionate about children and UNICEF as I am.
He's very loving. I can trust him. I trust his love. He reassures me in every way.
By becoming a UNICEF ambassador, Audrey gave the love she never had.
We cannot afford to give up. We have the resources, we have the time, and we must have the love to take care of these millions of children.
They got more than $1 million because of her appearance in any of the talk shows.
She showed up once in front of the US Congress and got $60 million in 1 hour from them. It showed how extraordinarily powerful she still was.
Today, Audrey's legacy lives on in those who long to spread love, inspiring a generation of activists.
Perhaps the most important thing which I carried through life. And when I love unconditionally.